There is a phenomenon in modern times to eliminate free speech in a variety of ways. We've talked about Section 13.1, but another most insidious method of the thought control, mind control people is being used in what's called a bubble zone. Now, nothing else in the world is protected by a bubble zone except very important international people at their privileged conferences where almost free speech is outlawed. You can protest in certain little out-of-the-way places. That seems to be the trademark of the World Trade conferences that we've had. And another place is around abortion clinics, the places where human life is extinguished. Ironically, maybe both are similar in that regard, but the latest development in the abortion clinic bubble zone is going to be tested by the actions of Cecilia Von Dien in Vancouver. Her conduct was not to protest and not to object to abortion, but simply to distribute the legislation within the bubble zone, the legislation being that enacted to prevent sidewalk protests or counseling inside the bubble zone. So she distributed the legislation, nothing more. Interestingly enough, she's prosecuted under the very law that she was distributing. Without comment, she was distributing the law. She's now being prosecuted for breaching. This is the mad, mad world of 1984 come true. It is the state of mind of those who say not only is abortion a right, it must be a right against which no objection is possible. No contrary argument is allowed, certainly not within the area where abortions are to be carried out. And whether you like abortion, you don't like abortion, I think you should maintain the principle that anywhere and everywhere freedom of speech should be allowed. Now, of course, if there's obstructions of other kinds, they could constitute crimes. But merely to distribute legislation that identifies and establishes those things possible within a bubble zone is now a crime in the minds of some prosecutors, and we'll see whether it applies in the minds of some judges. There will be a trial on this issue. We're not sure exactly the date, but I hope to keep you informed about this. The public should know about this trial. This will be an important test of whether bubble zone laws can prohibit the very distribution of the legislation that creates them. Because if that's the case, absurdity in the law has reached the level where nothing makes any sense at all. So if free speech is to be real, the law must be known. To communicate the law should never be a crime.